To mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, Dense Breasts Canada is presenting Not Too Young, a photo essay by award-winning photographer Hilary Gauld, which portrays the stories of 10 young women told they were too young for breast cancer. And we're joined now by Taro Stevens, a breast cancer survivor who was diagnosed at the age of 29. Taro, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Ben.
Can you take me back to the moment when you were 29 and you were diagnosed? Was it something that you had thought about? You know, we all know about breast cancer, but we don't necessarily know it's going to affect us. And women certainly don't know it's going to affect them at 29.
Definitely. It was very difficult and very shocking. I do have a family history of breast cancer, but we don't have the gene. So I assumed that I was in the clear. And when I developed a painful lump, I was also initially told by my doctor that it was unlikely that it was breast cancer because breast cancer is typically not painful and because I was so young. So that's a message we're hearing a lot is, you're too young. And that's what this campaign's all about because the rates of breast cancer are getting younger and younger. And so we really need to advocate for ourselves and, do self-checks, know your body, and speak up when you might not necessarily be heard.
And what do you think the value is going to be in sharing the stories of young women in their 20s and 30s who are fighting breast cancer in photographic form?
Oh, honestly, I think it's a really, really beautiful series, and it shows women from a range of ages in a vulnerable setting, but also happy and grateful to be living life after going through something so difficult. So I think it'll really hit home with a lot of younger women who they'll see themselves in these women. They look healthy, they look happy, they're thriving, and so am I. But that doesn't necessarily mean that everything is okay.
Yeah. Well, according to recent research by the University of Ottawa, breast cancer rates are rising in Canada among women in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s. Breast cancer has risen 56% in women between 20 and 29 since 2001. What do you think that's, how do we account for that? Is it as simple as we're getting better at detecting it?
So that is something that we're still trying to figure out. The answers are unclear at this time, but it is true 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and 85 to 95% do not have a family history. So the vast majority is actually not related to genetics. And that being said, Black women are diagnosed with breast cancer at earlier ages and are 42% more likely to die from the disease than white women. So being a half Black woman myself, that's a statistic that was very disheartening to hear.
So there are women listening right now and the men in their lives who are on one side of the fence. And then we have you who has gone through it. You were diagnosed and you fought it and you've come out the other side. Having put in the time and having put in the energy and the resources and to having fought this terrible disease, but now you're on the other side. What do you tell these women who, for whatever reason, can't get through the barrier to go get checked?
Oh, my goodness. Well, luckily, as of October 8th in Ontario, routine mammograms will start at the age of 40 when it was previously 50. But I still believe women younger than that should be going and advocating for themselves because you really never know. Yeah. And it's tough because, we feel healthy, but there could be underlying issues. And it's best just to be safe. It's better to be safe than sorry because even in my situation, it took me a long time to go and see the doctor. And by the time I finally did, I had it for at least a year because the symptoms had been present for at least a year.
And what was your journey to getting past cancer?
So I was diagnosed in 2021 with grade 3 invasive ductal carcinoma, which is a fast-growing form of breast cancer. And what followed was a double mastectomy as well as chemotherapy. And I am to this day on medication that I'll likely have to be on for the rest of my life, but I am cancer free. So it was quite a journey. But, having a great support system and, a good healthcare team is ideal in that situation. So I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm happy that I finally spoke up.
And that's the point, isn't it? Like the journey is not going to be an easy one, and nobody should have to go through it. But if you are going to go through it, you should do it sooner rather than later. And when you come out,
exactly,
and the life that you can have on the other side of it is, I'm assuming, worth all the trouble to get there.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd been checked earlier, because I could have avoided, a double mastectomy or even chemotherapy. But that's the thing, right? We're trying to help other women avoid having to go through that. The sooner, the better. Even if it's just getting checked and you're healthy, that's okay. The peace of mind is worth it.
Yeah. Well, the next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the initiative is Dense Breasts Canada, and you can go to densebreastcanada.ca. Tara Stevens, thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me.